Chapter 2, Mishnah 2. This Mishnah continues the list of laws that are described by the rule, never less than, nor more than. This Mishnah lists 4 such laws. The first of these is about the Jewish calendar. Unlike the secular calendar, which is based on the Earth's yearly movement around the sun, 365 and 1/4 days, the Jewish calendar is based on the monthly movement of the moon around the Earth. As seen in the night sky, the moon first appears as a thin crescent shortly after sunset, becomes larger each night until the middle of the month, when it becomes a full moon, after which it begins to lose some of its image each day until it disappears completely at the end of the month. Each Jewish month begins with a new moon, and 12 lunar months make up a year. The moon's path around the Earth takes approximately 29.5 days. Since a month cannot be made up of any half days, in order for the calendar to keep up with the moon, some months must have 29 days and others 30. A month that has 30 days is called me'ubar, literally pregnant, or maleh, full. A month that has 29 days is called chaser, short, literally lacking. It is not necessary to alternate each month between short and full months. The Sanhedrin may decide for one reason or another to have 2 full or 2 short months in a row. Nor is it necessary to have 6 full months or 6 short months in a year. Some years may have more of one and some years more of the other. However, each year must have a certain minimum number of full months and a certain minimum number of short months. The Mishnah now gives the rule for this. And we now turn to the words of the Mishnah. We do not make less than 4 full months, 30 days in a year. Nor does it appear proper to make more than 8 full months in a year. There must be at least 4 full months, because if not, there would be more than 8 short months of 29 days in the year, which we cannot allow. But there must also be at least 4 short months in the year, which is why there cannot be more than 8 full months. However, we may make as many as 8 short months in a year, or as many as 8 full months in a year. The Mishnah now gives another rule that follows the formula of not less than nor more than. This rule concerns the shtei halechem, the 2 loaves of bread that are brought as a special offering in the Beis Hamikdash on the festival of Shavuos. The 2 loaves are brought together with 2 lambs as part of a communal shalamim offering. These loaves are not offered on the Mizbeach. Rather, they are waved together with the 2 lambs in a process called tenufa. The lambs are then slaughtered and offered as a korban, while the 2 loaves are eaten by the Kohanim, along with the meat of the lambs. Although the shtei halechem are brought on Shavuos, they may not be baked that day, but must be baked before. Thus, they are never eaten on the day they are baked. The Mishnah gives the rule for how many days after being baked the shtei halechem are eaten, and we return to the words of the Mishnah. The shtei halechem, 2 loaves of bread brought on Shavuos, are never eaten by the Kohanim less than 2 days after being baked, nor more than 3 days after they are baked. The Mishnah presents yet another rule that follows this pattern. The lechem panim breads, consist of 12 specially shaped breads that are arranged each week on the shulchan, golden table, that stands in the Beis Hamikdash. These breads are replaced each Shabbos day. After they are removed from the shulchan, the 2 spoons full of levona, frankincense, that accompany them are burnt on the Mizbeach, and the breads that were removed are eaten by the Kohanim. Like shtei halechem, the panim breads cannot be baked on Shabbos. The Mishnah gives the rule for how many days after being baked the panim breads are eaten. We now return to the words of the Mishnah. The 12 panim breads that are placed on the shulchan every Shabbos and then eaten by the Kohanim on the following Shabbos are never eaten less than 9 days after they were baked, nor more than 11 days after they were baked. The Mishnah now presents a 4th rule that follows this pattern. This one concerns the law of milah, circumcision. A boy is circumcised on the 8th day of his life, unless he is sick. Even if the 8th day falls on Shabbos or Yom Tov, he is circumcised that day. However, if his circumcision could not be done on the 8th day for some reason, it cannot be done on Shabbos or Yom Tov and must be postponed until afterward. The Mishnah gives the rule for cases in which a healthy boy could not be circumcised on Shabbos because there was a question whether it was the 8th day. The Mishnah teaches the maximum number of days he must wait before being circumcised. We now turn to the words of the Mishnah. A healthy child is circumcised never less than 8 days after he is born, which is its proper time, nor more than 12 days after he is born. The earliest day for circumcising a healthy child is the 8th day, and the latest is the 12th day. Under ordinary circumstances, a boy is circumcised on the 8th day of his life. However, it is not clear whether the period between sunset and nightfall is considered part of the day just ending or the night that follows. Therefore, if a child is born during this time, we are unsure whether he was born during the day or at night. As a result, we must wait until the 8th day from the day that begins at nightfall to circumcise him. But this may in fact be his ninth day. This works for the twilight of any day of the week except Friday. If he was born during twilight of Friday evening, he cannot be circumcised the following Friday, because he might be only 7 days old. He cannot be circumcised on Shabbos because he might actually have been born on Friday, and a child may not be circumcised on Shabbos unless it is his 8th day. Thus he must be circumcised on Sunday, which is possibly the 10th day of his life. However, if Sunday's Yom Tov, he cannot be circumcised on that day either, because the child may be circumcised on Yom Tov only if it is his 8th day. Therefore, this child is not circumcised until Monday, which may be his 11th day. If Rosh Hashanah of that year falls on Sunday or Monday, he cannot be circumcised until Tuesday, which may be his 12th day.